And get this recorded. All right, you guys, we are going to talk about struggles. So we are all going to kind of touch on some things. And then what we're going to do is go through the chat and kind of touch on some of the things that you guys have shared are some of your struggles. I was just kind of sharing that I think it's so important to talk about the struggles of the business because everyone has struggles, and so many people don't talk about it because social media is such a highlight reel. So I feel like we get so caught up in comparing ourselves to other people's journey, and people don't talk about their struggles. They don't put that out there. So I just think it's so important to just have that conversation and recognize that everybody has the struggles. Everybody has those hurdles. We're really all on the same page. It's just a matter of conquering them and overcoming them, and kind of just seeking for help sometimes if you need help getting over those hurdles. So hopefully this helps, having the conversation, putting it out there, and hopefully something that we say speaks to you guys. So as we're kind of sharing struggles that we've had, we all kind of have like a specific thing that we're going to talk about. We're just going to take a couple of minutes to talk about it. And then you guys have some incredible struggles that you guys are sharing. And I think it's going to lead to some really awesome conversations. So ladies, do you guys want to start? Who would like to start? Allison, you look excited.
I can go, but Marlene, do you want to go first? Because I think yours was, or I can go, but if you want to touch on yours first, if we're going to go by subject.
Yeah, that's fine. I can go first.
Okay. I'll just piggyback after you. I'll go after you.
Okay. Okay. So, hey guys, my name is Marlene. I am a triple diamond. I've been with the company 3 years now. So I wanted to touch on spousal struggles because my struggle with my spouse, I think, is very deep, especially because it brought us to being separated for a whole year. And it was because of this business. And I know people are probably like, oh my God, like, I can't believe you separated because of this business. But I felt like the separation had to be done, more so because of our own like struggles, like as an individual. And this business brought that out of me. This business made me realize that I lost myself in my relationship, trying to do everything to make my now husband satisfied, and losing myself in the process. And this business showed me that. And it also showed me that I have more of a purpose than just being a mom and a wife. And I didn't realize that until I joined this business. And the thing is that before this business, I know I always had like a purpose, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. Like, I wanted to be a police officer, and that was what my mindset was. But like, my life just wasn't going towards that, but I just kept pushing towards that. And then this company found me, and when we separated, it's when I went emerald in 22 days. And I was so focused on making this business be everything that I know my family needed it to be. And I neglected my husband in the long run. And yes, I look back and I'm like, I'm kind of glad I did that, because I feel like if I didn't do that, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. Because if I would have let what we were going through make me quit the business, which is what he really at that point wanted me to do, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. I wouldn't be able to be a stay-at-home mom. I wouldn't be able to, be on maternity leave and never go back to work. I wouldn't be able to help pay the bills like we pay. We wouldn't be able to do the things that we do now. And I feel like one of the things is that we're so quick to like listen to what our spouse has to say, and we do exactly, not do exactly what they tell us to do, but we're quicker to say, okay, yeah, I'll do that, instead of, how about I do this first and then I'll get to that. And I feel like if you want to get somewhere, you have to get there on your own. And yes, having your spouse to support you is great, but you have to show your spouse why it's great. Like Allison said last week, our husbands and our spouses, they know the excitement that we have when we sign a customer or distributor. We could be so excited and be like, oh, I did this. I remember my first time doing Host to Post, I got like 45 customers that month. And that was like the first time I ever like had more than 5 customers. And I was so excited. And I was like, babe, I got customers. I got 45 customers. And he's like, yeah. Okay. And I was like, do you understand what that means? Like, you know, to them, they don't know that. And we have to find ourselves to be able to portray that. And how we find ourselves is what's going to make the difference between how we tell them. Right. So I could easily say, I got a customer today, but it's up to me to explain to him why getting that customer is so important. But it took me to be separated for a whole year to find myself to be able to do that. Because for the longest, I didn't think it was important to tell him those things. I was just like, you know what? He doesn't need to know. Like, it's my business. It's fine. Like when I go triple diamond, that's all he needs to know is I'm triple diamond. This is what I'm making. But it's up to us to keep them in the loop. And it took me to be separated from him for a whole year to realize that there's so much more deeper than just your husband saying, oh, cool, you're in a network marketing business. It's so much deeper than that. And when you have a spouse, like Allison said, make time. Don't forget to tell them what you're doing with your business. When I'm, you know, I do random power hours now because I have my, you know, 6-week-old. So it's a bit of a struggle for me. But when I'm doing them, I will make sure right before in my head, I'm like, oh, I'm going to do an 11 o'clock power hour. I tell him, babe, I'm going to do an 11 o'clock power hour today. I make it a point to tell him. When I first started this business, guess what? I never told him nothing. I would just jump on power hour. I would just jump on a training. I would just jump on live. I would just jump on a story talking. Nothing bad happened. I didn't, what? I didn't make it a point to tell him what I was doing with my business. I just thought he had to understand because it's my business, and why wouldn't he understand what I'm doing with my business? So you have to make it a point to allow them to come into your business, but you have to start that. They are not going to sit down and come to you and be like, so what are you doing in your business today? They are not going to do that. I could promise you that right now. They're just not going to. And sometimes my husband will take me by surprise, and say, oh, how's mommy? You unplugged my laptop and I'm on training. Sometimes I'm using the light. Sometimes my husband will message me and be like, oh, how's it going with, unplug the light as I go into pitch dark. You know, sometimes literally mom life. That's another struggle, you guys, that we're going to touch on. But sometimes he will shock and be like, hey, but he never says, how's it going with your business? It's always, how's it going with It Works? And I'm like, it's going great. He's like, how's the team doing? I'm like, the team's doing good, or, you know, we're struggling a little bit. But it took 3.5 years, you guys, for me to get to where I'm at now. And I want you guys to realize that it doesn't happen overnight. If you're going from being in having a marriage or fiance, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever you have, if they didn't come into your life when you already had this business, expect it to be a struggle, because they do not understand what goes behind the phone. They don't. And there has been plenty of times that we've gotten into an argument. He's like, well, I don't know what you're doing on your phone. And I'm like, you know exactly what I'm doing on my phone. I tell you what I'm doing on my phone. You're watching my Instagram stories. You know what I'm doing on my phone, you know, but to him, he doesn't know what I'm doing on my phone. So just know it gets better. You have to find a happy medium. You have to find it. It's there. It's definitely there. Whether you sit down, and if you are struggling with your spouse right now, please put a 1 in the comments below, because I want you to know, or comments in the chat, put in 1. It's okay. Okay. We've all struggled before. You are not the only one who struggles with your husband or your wife or your girlfriend or boyfriend. Don't be ashamed to say, yes, I'm struggling. That's the first step of overcoming that struggle and that obstacle. Because now you know that it's an issue. And I didn't know when it was an issue until we separated. And that's when I was like, you know what? Yes, reach out and ask for help, you guys. We're all here to help you guys. And this is why we're doing this right now, because there are so many struggles that come with this business. It's not just one. There's several that come with this business. And a lot of us on this training, I'm so excited for this one because we've dealt with a lot of the struggles. And that's why we're going to just kind of give you tips on how we got over it. And honestly, how I got over it was I kept going because I knew there was a purpose behind my craziness. I knew there was a purpose behind this business, and God put this business in my life for a reason. And I was not going to let it go that easily. Yes, we separated. And I feel like, yes, it was because the main part was because of this business, because I neglected him, but it was deeper than that. And if I didn't find this business, maybe we would still be struggling in a whole relationship right now. Like, or maybe our relationship would be terrible. But because of this business, we separated. And in that year that we separated, I kept going. And it was a struggle sometimes, you guys. It was hard for me to show up for my team sometimes when I just wanted to be with him. Like, I wanted him home with me and my kids. It was a struggle. But I knew that there was going to be a purpose behind me not quitting. And because I didn't quit, our relationship is the best it's ever been. We've been together 11 years. The best it's ever been. My business is the best it's ever been. And having his support was worth the struggle. Having his support was worth the year separation. Okay. Being able to look at him and be like, babe, I'm jumping on training. Babe, I'm going presidential this year. And for me to look at him in the face and say, babe, I'm going presidential this year. And him looking at me and saying, what do you need me to do? That was everything to me. And it took time. And I want you guys to realize, do not give up. Do not give up. Because if you give up, then you're making them right. Then they're going to say, oh, you see, well, you gave up because you knew this company wasn't going to bring you anywhere. But when you keep going and you show them why you neglected them or why it took you some time to find that happy medium, they are going to thank you in the long run. Okay. My husband gets paid. He gets paid chump change because I didn't really build his side yet because I wanted to help change other people's lives. And if I was making a good income, I didn't feel the need to make triple income from my husband's account when I could help another mom make my husband's account, like make the money that my husband would make when I'm already making good money. Like I felt selfish doing that. So I really didn't build his account or even try to, but like he gets chump change and he'll ask me every month, like, what I get paid this month? And I'll tell him, even if it's $50, he'll be like, oh, it's better than something. But I could tell you right now, this was when I first joined this business, he'd be like, $50, really? $50. Now it's like, oh, $50 can go towards the cell phone bill. His account has been paying our cell phone bill for the past year. So just don't give up, you guys. Let them know and let them realize that you're pushing so hard and you're doing this business so hard because there's a purpose behind it. And if you keep going, you will be able to show them that purpose. And they will eventually thank you for not giving up. They will thank you. And he has thanked me for not giving up. Literally, for not giving up. When everything was against me and everything was for me quitting this business when me and him were struggling. But I refused to give up because I knew that there was so much more than just a Ruby paycheck or just an executive paycheck. And not that a Ruby paycheck is bad, because it's not. It's great. But I just knew that there was more because I want to be a homeowner. That is my goal this year, is to be a homeowner. And one of my goals was to be a stay-at-home mom. And I accomplished that first goal. Then my second was to help bring moms home. I accomplished that. Now my goal this year is to be a homeowner, and I'm going to do that. And imagine if I gave up 3 years ago when he wanted me to. I wouldn't be able to tell my story today and help you guys overcome that struggle. So don't give up. Take into consideration what your spouse has to say, but also make him take into consideration why you're doing what you're doing for your family. It's a two-way street. They can understand you. I mean, you can understand them, but they also have to understand you. And you have to make it a point to make them understand that you're going to do this business because it's going to change your lives, and you have to stand your ground. So many people have come and gone in my business because their spouse. And I'm like, sis, I've been through it. Like, me and my husband, we separated for a whole year. Just keep going. And they're like, well, I can't. I have to get a job. Then you're going to understand something. You're going to understand that your struggles are going to just keep being struggles, because your job is not going to do what It Works can do for you and your family. And that's just what it is. So
thank you so much. That was so much good info on if you guys are dealing with a spouse. I mean, if you're married, I'm sure it's come up. So let's all just be honest, right? Yeah, you're not alone in that, that's for sure. So I hope that was comforting you guys to hear that you're not alone in that, and you got some solid tips to help get you through it. I'm going to share real quick. Mine is friends and family not supporting you. So can you guys give me a 1 or in the comments if you have ever had your friends or family not support you? Okay, 1, 2, 3 people, 4. Okay, 5, yes. Okay, so 6, 7, okay. It's a common thing, right? So that's one of my main points that I want you to see, is that it's a common thing. You're not alone. And you guys, when I started my business, I started with a post on Facebook, like most of us do, right? And I had acquaintances from high school or complete strangers reach out to me in Messenger or comment, and that's it. You guys, I was dumbfounded that none of my family or friends were commenting or supporting, like, especially when I promoted too. Like they weren't saying anything or commenting or anything like that. And it would just felt weird. And so I don't know what it is, but I didn't get hung up on it. I knew it felt weird, and I knew it was like not normal, right? If they were doing something awesome and promoting or sharing something new, I'd want to try it and help support them, right? Because that's just what friends and family do. But it doesn't always happen that way. So I didn't get too hung up on it. That's another thing I want you to know. Like, learn to quickly, like, oh, okay, that's lame, but then move on, right? Because you don't want to stay stuck in those lame feelings that someone's not supporting you, because then you can get in that spiral downward thing that's just like, leaves you questioning, like, why, and who knows why. And the other thing I want you to, pay attention to is all the people that are supporting you. And the fact that complete strangers reach out to you through HAPS all the time, and they're the ones joining you. That's incredible. I just think that is way more awesome than family or friends. A complete stranger on the internet is sending you their credit card and signing up as a customer or distributor with you. So that is what I want you to focus on if you're struggling with friends or family. Just have in your mindset that it really is too bad for them, one, that they're not in this business, right? Or they're not even trying your products, because they're all awesome. But then move on, and you really don't want to have any kind of harsh feelings, because that only just leads to like yourself being bitter over nonsense. So focus on what you can control, and what you can control is happing like crazy, making new friends, and growing your business with complete strangers. And that's what I've done, you guys, for 9 years, acquaintances and strangers. So that's my little tidbit on friends and family not supporting you. I hope that helps.
Thanks, Jen. Appreciate it.
Yes.
Allison, you want to go and share your little tidbit?
Yeah, I'll go next.
Okay.
Okay. Hi guys. That was really good. Thanks, Jen. So really quick to just kind of piggyback off of that. I told a little bit last week about my husband, my spouse, and all that, and our issues and what I did there, what I totally failed on over the years, you guys. But what I really like too about when we share struggles, you guys, there's always a way to overcome them. There's always a way to overcome them, but you're never going to see success without failure. You're never going to see success without the learning curves. And what I love now about everything that we're sharing is that we now get to share our struggles, our mistakes, our probably shouldn't have done that, or maybe I should have done this way years ago with you guys. So now that you don't have to, maybe you can reroute, and you can tell yourself now that, like, okay, I can do things differently now, I can avoid that or whatever. So my biggest thing about spousal support, because I shared quite a bit of that last week, is just communication, you guys. it'll save you so much in the long run, not only just with, as a husband and wife, but even if you have a boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it may be right now, communicate that with them. But what I'm going to say is it's a two-way street, and, just communicating every single day. What you did today is probably not going to work tomorrow or Wednesday or Thursday, whatever, but you have to communicate on a daily. And that was something that was hard for me working from home. I'm like, I'm home. I don't need to tell them everything I'm doing. And I don't necessarily tell them everything I'm doing, but in a sense of like a Zoom, or he comes home from work, you guys, when he comes home from work, I look at him in the face versus on my phone. But he also knows of, hey, mom's got to work. Mom runs a business. Let's give mom her time too. So really communicating that two-way street, instead of just thinking they know everything, or thinking they know you have a Zoom, or thinking that they know what you're doing on their phone, because believe it or not, they don't. Okay. What I wanted to talk about tonight though, for me, was belief and mindset. And the reason why I wanted to go over this as far as struggling is that your mind literally dictates what you do every single day, right? Whether you get out of bed, whether you shower, whether you eat, whether you do personal development, whether you got on the Zoom, it was a choice. Every single thing we do every single day is a choice. And I think for so long, for me, my mind was so full of just clutter and just negativity and just thoughts and feelings and emotions that I was constantly working my business based off of emotion. Does anybody else feel that way? They do that? Drop a 1 in the chat, you guys, if you do. If you wake up and you feel tired, so you're not going to post. You wake up and you feel, you're just like, I'm exhausted. I'm not going to get up and make breakfast. I'm exhausted today. I'm not going to work out. Hey, I've had a really bad day. I'm not going to get on my team Zoom tonight. Like, we literally work everything in our life based upon an emotion. And that's something that I had to, number one, work through. But when I started identifying those emotions and I started realizing that, oh my God, my mind is literally dictating every single move that I'm doing every single day. And believe it or not, those choices were not good. They were not fueling me, you guys. And some of you that may not know this part of my story, but I gained 60 pounds in this business through promoting up to presidential. Okay. And it was a choice to eat healthy, or it was a choice to not eat healthy. Yet I'm a health and wellness distributor and I was eating like shit. I mean, like, let's be honest, like that doesn't look good. Right. And I'm sitting over trying to promote products and trying to, help my team. And yet I'm over here not taking care of my own self. I wasn't eating good. I wasn't sleeping good. I wasn't a happy mom or a happy wife. And what I have to tell you guys is that it is a decision and a choice every single day what you do. And what you do, you make time for, right? It's a priority. Getting on this Zoom is a priority to you, so you got on. Working your business is a priority to you, so you're doing it. Spending time with your kids, spending time with your husband, making dinner. We have to make dinner every single night for the rest of our lives. I mean, we can look at it as like a chore, or we can look at it as, I get to make dinner. I get to make money from my phone. I get to be with my kids. I get to listen to my husband's 45 different stories from work that are so obnoxious, but I get to listen to my husband. I mean, like, literally, you get to do these things every single day. And we take so much for granted that it's half of the time we're faced with so much negativity, you guys, that we don't realize that our emotions are literally running our life every single day. How we feel about things, how we think about things, how we do things and run our business. And so my challenge to you guys is that when you wake up every stinking morning, that you write down 10 affirmations. Okay. I am a present and patient mom. I am a badass leader. I am a loving wife. I am, unstoppable. I am confident. I am whatever it is, you guys. You have to believe it in order for it to happen. If you're struggling with enrolling right now, it's because you don't believe that you can enroll loyal customers. You don't believe that you can enroll distributors. You don't believe that you can promote. Is there anybody on here right now that doesn't believe they can go Ambassador Diamond? Be honest, drop a 1 in the chat. Do not believe that you can promote to the top of the company, because it is simply a mindset and a thought process. And I don't know if you guys have Pam's new book or not, but you have to get that book, Rich Girl, Poor Girl, because you're thinking like a poor girl right now. Okay. Oh, there, Jen's holding it up right now. Okay. You have to stop and realize this poor me mindset, this mindset of like, poor me, or my past dictates who I am or where I'm going. That has nothing to do with who you are right now today, guys. I started realizing that if I wanted this business to work, then I had to do it for me, and I had to get up and show up for myself every single day. Not only show up for my health, show up for my kids, show up for my husband, show up for my team. It's so incredible what happens when you shift your mindset from when you see a post. Has anybody seen a negative post about their business on Facebook? Anybody? Or am I just the only one? I mean, think about it. Has every single person probably on here seen a negative post, right? She's annoying or this or that, whatever. And how many of you let that affect your entire rest of your day? Think about it. You saw that and you were like, maybe I should quit. Maybe I won't message. Maybe I won't post. Maybe I won't follow up. Maybe I won't work my business. Okay. You're simply reacting to emotions on everything you're doing. And so you have to retrain your brain, and believe it or not, your mind is the most powerful tool you have. Okay. So if this business has not gone from your head to your heart yet, that's one thing that I want to challenge you this year, that you are so invested emotionally into your business that nothing's going to rock you. Nothing's going to mess with you. You got to work on your marriage every day. You got to show up, work on your friendships. You got to show up with your kids. You got to show up with your business. We have so many freaking things to show up for every single day. But here's one of the best tips that I heard a couple years ago. And this is what rocked my world and shifted everything for me. It's okay to drop the ball in an area of your life today, but it's not okay to drop it tomorrow. So if you were not a good mom today, maybe yelled at your kids 24/7, guilty, happens to all of us, right? But you were a damn good wife. You were a damn good leader. You ate good, you worked out, you did all that. Guess what you're going to do first thing tomorrow? Spend some time with your kiddos. Okay. Maybe tomorrow you're like, I dropped the ball. I didn't eat very healthy, but I showed up for my business. I was a great wife. Okay. And I learned that. And I thought, dang, I don't have to be perfect in every single area of my life every single day, but I sure as heck have to show up. You have got to get up and show up every single day, whether you feel like it or not. And you're probably thinking, all right, no, that's annoying. Sorry, my little Labradoodle sitting under my desk, squeaking his ball. There, buddy. But you have to tell yourself every single day, you guys, affirmations, personal development, fill up your cup. The 5 people that you spend your time with are the 5 people you are going to become. So if you don't like the 5 people that are closest to you, then you better change that. Okay. And one more thing that I want to say is that plug into your team, plug into your uplines, you guys, plug into the people that you are in business with. Okay. It's not a secret that the people running the Zoom are successful in this business because number one, they've had struggles. Number one, we've all failed. We've all had setbacks. We've all had obstacles, but we're still here because the business has gone from our head to our heart. And anytime I see people walk out the door, I'm like, they aren't married to a product. And what I mean by that is there one product that you can't go without every single day? Well, for me, no. I have to have at least one of our products every single day, more like 10. But let's be honest. If you are a brand new distributor on here and you aren't married to one product, then how do you expect to have this business be fully invested in it? Be so excited about every day. You have got to be so fueled that every single day, regardless if you had an hour of sleep or 7 hours of sleep, you get up and work your business. Are you married to a product? Do you have a why? A strong why. I'm not just saying you want to go Ruby. I'm not just saying you want to make $500. I'm not just saying you want to promote. That's not strong enough, guys. I'm talking when you wake up tomorrow morning and somebody says, oh my God, Allison Stanley is so annoying. She posts on her Facebook every single day, blah, 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 blah. And guess what I do? I don't give a shit. Unfriend. I don't care, you guys. I don't care. I don't care. I hear so much hate and negativity all over social media. Do I read it? No. I mean, I see it. Cool. Guess what? It's a free platform. Anybody can be on there. Anybody can post on there. Anybody can share on there. It is a free stinking platform. Quit getting so worked up about somebody behind a keyboard. Okay. In another area of my life, you guys, I'm a head volleyball coach. So I got to hear about bitching parents about their kids playing time. And why isn't my kid starting tonight? And why isn't my kid on varsity? And this and that. Guess what? I deal with the same thing over there. And I could have let that affect my business over here. But I have learned to not allow a fight with my husband that day or an argument with my kids affect my business. Okay. Me not eating healthy one day or whatever, beating myself up for that and saying, okay, I fell off the rail. I'm going to stop taking my products. Okay. It is simply a mindset, you guys. Allow this business to go into your heart. Allow this business to realize that it doesn't have to consume you, but you have got to be so dang passionate about it and excited about it that somebody else can feel that. Because believe it or not, your team feels that, your potentials feel that, everyone around you feels that. So if you're in your messages and you're messaging somebody and you're like, hey, try my products. I'm sorry, I'm not buying it from you. If you message me and say, hey, do you want slimming gummies? I would say, no. I mean, literally, people feed off your energy. Pick up the voice message. I don't care if you got screaming kids in the background or a dog squeaking their toy or I don't know where the other kid's at. But listen, You've just got to be real and be yourself, because somebody is going to relate to you. Somebody's going to realize that you are a real person and that you are passionate about this. Same here, Jen. I was voice messaging my team on the way home. They're in here and they were like, I love that you have screaming kids in the back of your car. And I'm like, it's true. All of my potentials, you guys, I talk to them through voice messenger on purpose so that they can see that I'm a real person. Okay. I'm like, hey, I'm so sorry. I'm just leaving the gym, getting caught up. I'll send you a message when I get home. And they're like, oh, she's a busy mom too. She's a busy wife, you know? It's okay, guys. It's okay to struggle, but you've got to have a plan to overcome that struggle. You've got to have a plan to come back and not sit in your sorrow and your pity and your laziness mindset. You've got to sit there and tell yourself that I'm a badass mom. I'm a badass wife. I'm a badass leader. And no matter what I see, I read, I hear, it's not going to affect what you do day to day and your productivity, because you know what you want. You know that your mindset dictates what you do, and you no longer are going to react out of fear or emotion.
Love it. I had an aha that I had to share real quick when you said be married to a product. There is not another business company out there that I can really think of that I've been in this business for 7 years. I got started in this business because of the greens, and I shared them with everybody. Every customer that I had was on the greens, and I've been in for 7 years and I still don't go a day without those greens. There's not many companies out there that from day 1 to day 7 years later, you can be that obsessed with a product. And of course, I'm like you, like a bunch of products, definitely find a product that you can't live without and just share it. That's really, we're so lucky that we have the products that we have and we get to share. We're not selling t-shirts. You know what I mean? It's like we have health and wellness products, and that's what makes residual income so incredible, because people want to keep coming back and having the same product over and over again. Shannon, where are you?
Right here.
Hi.
Everyone. All right. Wow, that was awesome. Like everyone talking has so many things. I'm like, yes, that's totally like 100%. So to a few things I wanted to piggyback a little bit on what Jen said and about friends not supporting you. And I will never forget, when I started the business, I was so excited and I was telling everybody, and I had those people kind of like, oh yeah, that's a scam, or you'll never be successful at that, or just, they weren't like supporting me like I thought that they would. And I will never forget those people, but I want you to know that don't look at it as a bad thing. Those people, once they said those things to me, those people became like my haters, became my like supporters. Like I was like, I am going to prove you wrong. And I don't care. I am going to make a lot of money with this business. And I did. And to me, it was like, I had to prove everybody wrong that I was going to be successful. I loved what I was doing. I was changing so many lives. I was doing this business with my best friends. We were having a good time. And you know what? Those people, it might be 9 years later, those people that said that they would never buy a product from me, that talked about me to everybody, they're now sliding into my inbox. So don't worry, those people will come around. Even if they're not supporting you right from the beginning, I'm telling you, eventually they are going to start to ask you questions. They're going to want to know what you're doing, what you're taking, and what this is all about. So that's one thing. So don't, get all upset when, the person that you thought was going to be your biggest supporter sometimes isn't. And then back to the products. If you're not using these products, then how do you expect to sell the products? We have got to be the product of the product. And I'm telling you, there's some products that I'm here 9 years later that I don't use. I use a lot of the products, probably everything, but those products are not the products that are my number one products that I'm selling. The products that I'm using daily, that I love, that I'm getting results, and I'm voice messaging people and letting them see I'm excited and this is what this did for me, and it can do it for you too. So make sure you're finding a product. And I know when you first get started, just like when I first got started, I barely had the $99 to get started. So to have a boatload of products in my cabinet kind of wasn't something in my finances. But find that 1 or 2 products to get started with and start using that. Get your own results and then add on as you go. But as long as you're using something, you need to make sure you're becoming the product of the product. And then just kind of, I know probably a lot of us on here are moms, and mom life is hard as it is, okay? And then you're trying to add in having a clean house and dinner and all the things that come along with it. And I just want to be here to tell you, don't get overwhelmed. Sometimes we get overwhelmed and all of a sudden we like freeze. And when we're overwhelmed, we're frozen. And then we all of a sudden, like, we're not doing all the things that what we should be as far as our business, things like that. So for me, I love to start a schedule. I do it. My week is different. I have teenagers. We are at hockey, like some nights till 10 o'clock at night. And I just make a schedule of myself on Sunday. Like, I know, like, this is my night that I have hockey duty, or I have this going on. And I know that I'm going to schedule my business in between this, because I work my business as a business, because I want to get paid like a business. Some of you didn't start this business for it to be a full-time career for you, and you're just here maybe for the product money or whatever it may be, but schedule your time of your business into your family life too. And so I know every morning on Monday through Friday at 9 o'clock, I'm on a power hour, and I'm getting my KPIs done for the day, so that I know that I at least have it done for the day. And then if I have time to add another power hour in the afternoon, whatever it may be, and then in the evening, and just, so I don't feel overwhelmed when I know that there's laundry upstairs and there's dishes in the sink and things like that. So that's just one tip for me, because I know if people are kind of crazy like me, I don't do well in a messy house. And so I need things in order. And so I take my Sunday, and that's when I organize, and I know my schedule for the week, just like you would know your work schedule for the week. If you were going into a 9 to 5, you knew what you had to do for the week ahead of time. So that's just my tip. And thank you guys for sharing yours, because it was awesome. And I loved everything you guys had to say.
All right. And my gosh, I feel like it's perfect how we're all kind of piggybacking off each other, because my topic is mom life. So I'm kind of piggybacking off what you just said. Okay. So for those that don't know about me and my life is crazy. I have a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 2.5-month-old. Once you reach third kid, you don't go by weeks anymore. You just say they're almost 3 months. But my life has really been crazy this last, honestly, like probably 2 years. I ended up moving in with my parents to help my dad when he was diagnosed with cancer. And then I stayed with my mom after he passed away. We were in New York. I was living in Arizona. Life has been just insane. And then we moved cross country, and now I'm living in New York. And then of course I was pregnant, had a baby. It's just been crazy. So for me, like a 6 list and the KPI literally is my life. And guys, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I don't hit it every day. I don't get through it all every single day. And it is okay. Like, I have to give myself grace, because if I don't, I truly will drive myself crazy. So I think the whole like mom life thing, it's so real. But I think really the thing that works best for me is that I have to know what my day is going to look like ahead of time. Now, I'll be honest, like probably like a year ago, I did this one task that I think about so often, and I don't do it as specific as I did before, but I would, the night before, I would create my 6 list, and then I would create my day 6 to 7 a.m., 7 to 8 a.m., 8 to 9. I literally would write down exactly what I was doing for every hour of the day. I know it sounds a little crazy, but I did it for like a month. And then I just ended up starting to do it like in my head. And it really helps me, because it helps me understand when I'm going to work my business and what I'm going to do at that time in my business. So like just for example, when I go pick up my son at carpool, I'm sitting in carpool for 30 minutes. I'd literally be insane if I didn't utilize that time wisely, right? So that is my time where I turn on my phone and I listen to Jade Hooper. And while I'm listening to Jade Hooper, I'm greenlight messaging. So I have a system, I have a daily schedule on how I kind of run things. But the most important thing is that when I actually am able to be super intentional and work my business, like sit at my desk and work, I have to be intentional. And if I'm not being intentional with my time in my business, then it's just doing a disservice to myself and my team, quite honestly. So for me, I have to create a schedule. So something after, of course, I have a 2.5-month-old. So something that's really important to me, and again, you have to think about what your priorities are. So something that's really important to me is working out. I have a Peloton. I just got it for Christmas and I want that to be a priority. So I said, okay, well, I don't want to do the Peloton when my kids are at school because that's time for me to work my business and be super intentional. So I wake up at 5:30 in the morning. Is that easy? Absolutely not. But is that my priority? Yes. So I wake up at 5:30 in the morning, work out, and then there's even times where I have like half an hour, like I'll shower, I'll have half an hour before my kids even wake up. And my husband's already off to work. So I'm in charge of getting 3 kids ready, 2 to school. So I'm ready. If I have time, I'll read like self-development or whatever. I get them off to school. And as soon as I come home, I have a choice. I can sit down on the couch and I can watch the Today Show and I can work from my phone. Well, you and I both know that when you're sitting in front of the TV, it's kind of hard to be like super intentional. So when I get home, I have to sit at my computer if I'm going to be really intentional. I want to get on as many power hours as I can, but of course, we're busy. So my time to work my business is when my kids are in school because I want to also be a mom and I want to be a really good wife. So when my husband's home and when my kids are home, that's the time that I really want to be with them. I don't want to have my phone in front of my face. So it is so important to be intentional with your time. It is okay to be a crazy busy mom, but you want to be an awesome mom at the same time. Something that I do that helps me stay organized is I have this. Obviously, I have my KPI and my 6 list and I have tasks, but like I'm always looking, okay, did I post? Did I message? Did I follow up? And did I grow my network? Like those 4 things have got to be done every day. If I don't get my KPI done, it's like, I have to at least do this. Messaging people, getting in people's inboxes is so, so, so important. So that's kind of like my whole thing with like mom life, like being intentional, having a schedule, figuring out what's going to work best for you and when you can work this business. Because you want to work this business into your life and not really the other way around. Okay. Some of the topics that I kind of wrote down as people were writing the questions. So I'm just going to go through them. Leaders, please unmute yourself if you guys want to kind of chime in and add some stuff. So the first topic is signing distributors and launching those distributors. Guys, I think, and I don't want to overcomplicate this, and I also don't want to make it sound like it's super easy because it's not easy. I understand that it is more complicated to sign distributors than customers, but you have to have conversations with people. You have to present the business to people. You know, I've been talking to people on my team and they're like, I just can't sign a distributor. I'm like, I literally haven't seen you post about the business once. Like you posted about the products like twice yesterday. Like, what are you doing? Like, how many messages are you sending out? You've got to be posting about the business. Be personal. Don't just copy other people's stuff and throw it up and be like, nah. No one's messaging me. They're not going to come to you. You have to go to them. How many people are you messaging? If you're doing host to post, well, okay, cool. Good for you. But are you presenting the business opportunity to them? This is what we do. We share products. So those are my biggest tips with signing distributors and getting people started and helping them get started. Do you guys have anything, Allison?
I was just going to piggyback with that really quick, Danielle, with host to post, distributor host to post, you guys. Really quick, this is what we train on our team. And this is something that absolutely changed the game for us. Not only doing distributor host to post, you guys, but if you're going to do like a gummies host to post or a cleanse host to post, you get to the initial end of the conversation, you get their info right before we enter their information for a customer, because everyone gets super excited about hearing yes, having all the information. You just want to put it in the system and be done. And you're like, yes, I got a customer. Slow down, because if you think about it, guys, if you were to sign 3 distributors a month and help them get their first 6 customers, what's 150 times 3? Think about that for a second. If you did 3 distributors, okay, a month, and you got $150 a fast start bonus per distributor, think about how much money you would be making by doing 3 distributors versus just 3 customers. Okay. So shifting the mindset is every single person you talk to is a distributor. So when you get to the end of every stinking conversation, whether it's a host to post, a distributor host to post, cleanse host to post, just an initial message, a green light message, whatever, right before you enter their information in the system, you say, hey, really quick, before I enter your information, would you be interested in making some money too? Okay. really quick, before I enter your information, would you be interested in making some money and using the products too? Okay. You have to be the one to ask that question every single time. So literally, you guys, I go back through all product host posts and I never ask that question to it. I'm like, hey, I'm so sorry. What you just did is what I do every single day. Would you be interested in making some money with me? Okay. Would you be interested in making some money from your phone? Whatever. Ask the question every single conversation you have before you put the order in.
Yeah. And honestly, present the business to a customer before they become a customer, but also present it to, and I think you were saying this, I'm just going to be more clear. Present it to the person that threw up the host to post. Like, oh, great, you're entered. Thank you so much for posting. Hey, PS, do you mind if I send you some information on the business? This is literally what I do. This is how I share my business. And what you just did is what I do every day. Don't be afraid to share that and present that business to, those people that are throwing that host to post up for you. Guys, someone wrote getting customers, and again, same thing. I'm not going to say it's easy, but it's also not hard. I honestly think of it as a big circle, and it's just constantly going around, and it's constantly you having to plant seeds and following up with people and constantly trying different things that are going to work for you. Like, my biggest thing is you've got to get in people's messengers. So are you posting stories? Do you know how many people are viewing your stories? Go message those people. Say, thank you for viewing my story. You want to get in conversation with people. So you want to have at least 50 conversations a day. Keep track of those people and then follow up with them. It's seriously a cycle, and you just have to constantly be working that, and it's going to come full circle. Marlene, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I wanted to touch on the DT. Sorry, I had to make the bottle, but it's all about sharing your story, like as much as you can before it works, now that you're with it works, and where you want to go with it works type of thing. That's always what's worked for me, is sharing my why, like sharing my story, where I was before this business, where I am now, and what this business has done for me just as a whole. And sometimes it's a simple, it's being a stay-at-home mom for me type of post, like it's being a stay-at-home mom, for me type of post. Or 3 years ago in a snowstorm, I would be on my way to work and, scared about spinning out and where my kids were going to go for the day. Things like that attracts people. Doing your why in your stories is another thing that attracts people. There's sometimes that I'll put my why in a post and I'll get nothing. Mm-hmm. But I put my why in an Instagram story and like everybody's commenting on those stories. They're like, change, because I'm always doing a call to action too. My last story, like slide, will be like text change or swipe up and type change if you want more info. And my inbox will be crazy. And sometimes I'm like, wow, do you not see my post? And that's fine if they don't see my post, but it's there just in case somebody does. But my stories, like telling my why in my stories, has changed the game for me. And I wasn't doing it because it does take some time, you guys. But if you want those distributors, you need to put in the time to get those distributors. You can't just expect to put up a story and have somebody say, yeah, I want to, join your business. You have to get to know this person. Okay. That's another thing. When I am signing a distributor, I let them know, if you want this bad enough, you have to work for it. Like there's going to be training that you need to get done, and there's going to be things that you need to do before we get to the making money aspect of it. And if you're not willing to do that, then I'm not willing to have you on my team. It's okay not to bring somebody on your team, you guys. Don't just look at them as 150. Don't just look at them as a box. Look at them as that's who you have to train. So do you want to chase after somebody to want this business, or do you want to sign somebody up that's going to have the drive that you have? You're going to send those training videos, you're going to do trainings, and they're going to run with it. Mm-hmm. Choose your heart. Like I refuse to bring distributors on my team that are very like short answered with me when I'm talking to them. Like, oh, like, why do you want to join the business? Oh, because I want money. Are you a stay-at-home mom or do you work? I work. How many kids? You have one. Like, if that's the conversation we're going to have, then sis, I don't need you on my team. Because I can't be talking to myself, and I am not going to pull pull a me out of you. It's just not going to work. Mm-hmm. Like if you show me from the beginning, you're excited and you need this, then we're going to do this together. But if I'm trying to pull answers out of you, then you're just not fit for me. When people like are filling out my Google like questionnaire, if their answers are dry, you guys, I will message them and say, I'm sorry, but you're just not a good fit for my team. And I'm okay with doing that because it's going to take more from me to pour into that person than to get somebody who just wants this. Mm-hmm. And I could just send them the messages and send them the video. And I know that they're going to come back to me and be like, okay, let's get this host to post going. What should I do next? I love a distributor that comes to me first. Mm-hmm. Hey, I just finished the trainings. What do I do now? How many host to post should I get up? How many messages do you think I should send out a day? Is there something that I could put up on my stories? Is there something I could put up on my, on my timeline? Yes, it's exhausting. And I was that person when I first joined. Guys, if I had a distributor, I was like, oh my God, I have a distributor, because it's hard. But then I realized, like, yes, it's hard to get a distributor, but it's harder to make a distributor want this.
Well, and I think so many right now that are on listening to the things you're saying, some of them are new distributors and they're probably having a hard time understanding what you're actually saying, because we've been in this business for a while. So we understand the things that you're saying and how huge it really is. Because when I first started, I was like, oh my God, I got a distributor. And you're so excited, but then it's like so much work to like try to motivate them, try to inspire them. So honestly, I've gotten it in my head. I am out there finding more Danielles. I'm out there finding people like me. I'm out there finding people that want this just as much as I do. So that's what I constantly am telling myself. And I don't want to be rude when I say this. I truly don't want to. But if I sign somebody up and they don't answer me, guys, I am not going to be exhausting myself to be pouring myself into them when they're not giving me anything. I am not doing this for them if they're not going to give it back to me. So I'm ready to give you 100%. I know how to make this business work. I'm willing to give you 100% right now, but you have got to give me 100% back. So I totally agree with that. And somebody else, Jen, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to touch, this is totally off the topic. So if you wanted to finish on that.
No, go ahead. You're good.
So I was just scrolling through the beginning to look at any other questions that we had that people were struggling with. And it was on just launching your business, on just getting started. And so if you're brand new right now, or maybe you've been with us for a while, however long, it doesn't really matter if you're brand new or you've been with us for years. Sometimes we just need a feeling of relaunching our business, right? If that's the case, then pretend you're a newbie. And what I want you to do is start with HAP, because I kid you not, like I could preach about HAP all day long, but it changed the game of my business because it just takes any sort of like weird pressure off of you to like make any kind of post and then staring at your post. Did anyone like it? Did anyone comment? Uh-oh, I don't have any action on this post. This must be a fail, right? I mean, you don't have to worry about any of that. HAP, it increases your network, okay? Because you're adding those people as friends when they comment. It helps with your engagement because you're messaging back and forth and they're messaging you back and forth. So that will help with your boost your algorithm. It helps you enroll LCs. So it's like and DTs, because you're going to end with that question before you get all their information to enroll them. I never give people my website, by the way, unless they're like, I don't want to give you my information. Mm-hmm. So I hope, that you've been taught to gather all their information at the end of HAPs and enroll them yourself. And then you go back and you give them that, comment that I put in the chat, and you say, hey, I'd be doing you a disservice if I didn't offer you this business. Are you interested in an extra income at all? Just something simple like that before you enroll them. I just think that is the easiest way to launch your business. And that's what I'm doing with newbies. And that's what I've been doing like the last almost 2 years with newbies, is I just give them, a quick message to send out. I say, okay, send this message out to 5 people that are online right now. I teach them Greenlight. And I say, just ask them, hey, I know this is super random, but I just started a business and I'm wondering if I can ask you a quick favor. And that takes all the weirdness out of it, because you're addressing that it's super random. If you haven't talked to them for a long time, that's addressed. The weirdness is gone. And then you follow up and say, can I ask you a quick favor? They come back, sure. What is it? And then you say, would you mind putting up, you know, and you go in and you give them that verbiage with the hack, and it just makes it so simple. And then they have all this interest because they have 5 new hacks up at least, you know, and that's my tip. Well done.
Awesome. Allison.
Yeah, I was just going to add to that really quick, you guys. You have to put in your head that this is a numbers game. Every person's not going to say yes, and you're going to hear a lot more no's than you're going to hear yes. And also, not everyone's going to work. Not everyone's going to be great customers. Like I said last week, the best part of this business is people, and the hardest part of this business is the people. So if you're a brand new distributor right now and you're like, number one, desperation, it's not going to bring business. You don't want that. You don't want desperation. You don't want broke. You don't want that kind of, those people. You don't want that. You have to speak into fruition and just speak it out loud, you guys, that you're going to have the best customers. You're going to have the best distributors. And something that I have learned and heard many of times, and I know these girls have too, but number one, it's a numbers game. So set a goal to sign 5 distributors a month. Okay. 10 distributors a month, whatever it is, you guys. And remember that maybe 1 of those is going to work, or 2 of those is going to work. Maybe 3. If you get 5, holy smokes, incredible. But you have to realize that it's not you, it's them. And for so long, I was like, oh my God, I'm not good at this. I don't have the right tools. I don't have, I'm not in the right company. Oh my gosh, they don't want to work. And realize, you guys, it is not you. If a distributor doesn't want to work, that's on them. They've got the same tools as you do. That's on them. If a distributor doesn't want to plug in, that's on them. Okay. Quit trying to make these people work. Now, here's the thing. If you can walk through obstacles with them, you can get down to the surface of what's happening. That's something else. But if they simply are just ignoring you, this or that, let it go. Go find your next runner. Go find your next person that wants to work. Because if you find 1 runner, 1 versus 5 non-workers, I promise you, they will suck the ever living life out of you, suck your passion, your energy. You don't have time for that. Okay. Go find that 1 person that's going to become your best friend in the business and have an absolute blast with them, because it only takes 3 people to go ambassador. And I learned the stinking hard way of letting and allowing people to consume my time, my energy, my belief. Okay. They affect everything, guys, when people suck the life out of you. Same thing with customers. I've had some really terrible customers, and I have some incredible stinking customers and amazing customers. Okay. Just love on the right people, and remember that it's a numbers game. The good people will come if you continue to keep going.
Yeah. I feel like so many people are like, amen.
Literally. I just want to touch on the numbers game. I always, and I tell this to my team all the time, if you're sending out 20 messages a day, you're not getting 1 host to post up. Like, you have to set, like, I have a goal and my team has a goal, and we keep each other accountable all day, every day. The second we get a host to post, we bring it up, we screenshot it and we put it in our chat. And we have a goal of 10 hosts to post up a day. And we keep each other accountable every single day. And it's me and my team. We send a screenshot and we do 1 out of 10, 2 out of 10, 3 out of 10, 4 out of 10. And I get excited. I'm like, all right, who's going to be next? Who's getting 10 first? If you're getting 10 hosts to post up a day, you're getting customers. If you're sending 25 messages a day, you're not getting a host to post up. You cannot, like, you literally have to think about it. If you want 10 hosts to post up, you have to send like 100 messages. Like, you have to get those hey girls out there. And I'm a mass customer enroller. Like, I enroll 80 plus customers a month. And that's because I'm constantly sending out hey girls. I am constantly throwing up a giveaway post. Okay. I am constantly doing things that is getting me in people's inbox about posting for me. I will do a thing about saying the next person to comment happy before I say Monday wins $25. No cap on comments. You guys, I'll get 4,000 comments on that. And guess what? The first 30, 40, 50 people, I'm messaging them like, hey, thanks so much for commenting on my $25 giveaway post. I'm doing a bigger giveaway this month. Do you want to enter? So now they're going to possibly win $25 because they want it. And now I'm in their inbox and I'm like, hey, you can win $200. Do you want to post something for me? And 9 times out of 10, they're like, yeah, of course. Like, if I'm posting 500 times to win $25, I'll post once to possibly win 200. So it's like Allison said, it's a numbers game. And there's days that, like, I do a power hour and I'm like, okay, 10 minutes, hey girls. It may seem like a long time, but I could tell you in those 10 minutes, you're getting your 100 hey girls in if you're fast enough. If you have words, if you have word board, if you have text replacement, you're getting those hey girls out like that. That when you're done with your power hour, you're like, wow, I really sent that many messages. Like, you're shocked.
And I'm telling you, you don't have to do a $25 giveaway, guys. You can do like a Starbucks $5 gift card.
Yeah,
I still
yeah.
like blow up that post. So
I did
for like new people that are like, oh, I can't do that.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that. Do a $5 Starbucks gift card or Dunkin' Donuts. They get to pick whatever.
Or do your Skinny Brew samples, you guys.
Yeah,
I just did one the other day because I had an extra sample to give away, and I was like, the next person to say brew Skinny before I say brew wins a 3-day, a free 3-day supply. And I think I got like 3,000 comments on it. So if you don't have money, you don't have to do money. But like Danielle said, do a product. It's
definitely. I just want to touch real quick because we've kind of hit the hour mark. I want to just touch on the last couple things real quick. Telling my story. Somebody said they struggle with telling their story. Guys, honestly, you just have to think about where you're going, where you started, where you're at, where you're going. Okay. And it doesn't have to be complicated. I know that you want to sign distributors. Guys, I'm a teacher. I'm super creative, but my life is crazy. I don't have time to sit and over all day, every day. I wish I did, and create stuff. So if you actually go to my story today, you're going to see a picture of me and my daughter. I screenshotted the same picture 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Guys, I threw it up and I just added words. The first one was like, I started this business 7 years ago, wanting to make an extra blah. The middle one, whatever I did. And then the last one, I shared something, how I get to stay home with my 3rd baby and I have a couple of VIP spots open. Don't overcomplicate it. Okay. Follow other leaders, get ideas from other leaders. Okay. So put it up in your post. I follow other leaders and I get ideas from them and I save it in my notes section. And then for stories, I create my own. I'm in my over group. I save stuff there. Message people that view it. You don't only have to message people that vote on your poll, message people that view it. Just get those conversations going. Importance of self-development. Does anybody else want to touch on that real quick? Okay, I'll just say something real quick about it. I didn't know if anyone was I really was terrible at self-development, to be totally honest with you, for a couple of years. I've been in for 7 years. It was a struggle for me. I didn't really recognize the importance of it. Your mindset is just so huge in this business. And I think that you just have to make time to grow that. Okay, I'm looking up here, guys. I have like 15 books. I'm terrible. I'll buy them. I don't read them. I'm excited for when my kids are older so I can read them. But I do like podcasts, Jade Hooper, YouTube. I listen to YouTube stuff. That right now where I'm at in my life, that works for me. And that really fuels me. You just have to find something that kind of fills your cup up, fuels you, whatever it may be, and do it so that it kind of grows you. Because I'm telling you, when this business gets hard, you need to have a strong mindset to lean on so that it kind of carries you through. And being consistent. The last thing somebody wrote, being consistent. I don't want to say this and sound rude, but like, that's on you. You have got to be consistent, doing your 6 list, doing your KPIs. Like, you've got to figure out your day that's ahead of you, and you have to be consistent. You just have to hold yourself accountable. And that goes along with like being determined and being self-driven. You've got to be consistent. You've got to hold yourself accountable with that. So any last words before we are done?
I just want us to take a group picture because we forgot.
I just saw that. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Let me get in the view. We'll do a gallery. All right. Turn your cameras on. Where's my peeps? Let's see those beautiful faces. All right, everybody smile. All right, you guys, I'm going to stop the recording.